So what are the 5 most common reasons why citizenship form N400 gets denied at the interview? Watch and learn. Hello everybody, this is Jacob Sapochnick, an immigration attorney based in San Diego, California. And in this video, we'll talk about the 5 common reasons why people fail the N400 citizenship test and what are the reasons that the USCIS will deny your application. Reason number 1, failing the civics test at the interview and the English exam. People can study, but they do fail this exam. It's more common than you think. And typically, if you do fail it the first time, after 60 days, you can go back and take it a second time. And if you fail it at that point, there's a high chances that your application will be denied completely. So it's very important to take the time to study for the test. There are certain exceptions to taking the English test at the interview. And we'll put some information in the notes of this video. But typically, if you don't fall within those exceptions, you have to pass the English test. And if you don't, you will fail the test. You also have to study and pass at least 6 out of the 10 questions, the civics questions at the interview. And if you don't get those 6, you will fail the test again. And you'll have to take it after 60 days. And if you fail, they'll make you refile the application and do it all over again. So one reason, English and civics test failure. The second reason is criminal background. Certain criminal offenses in the US, but also outside of the US, can cause you not to be eligible for citizenship. Certain crimes like murder and certain drug trafficking will preclude you from getting your citizenship. So it's really important to consult with a criminal attorney and an immigration attorney that understand the consequences of criminal offenses that will bar you from getting your citizenship. Now, there are certain criminal offenses like DUI or certain minor drug offenses that, if occurred in the 5 years prior to you applying for citizenship, they'll also bar you from getting your citizenship at that moment. So for example, let's say you had a DUI last year and you applied now and you have probation. Well, you're not eligible to get your citizenship. So the officer or the interviewer will say, unfortunately, you passed the test, but because of that DUI that you had last year, you're not eligible for citizenship at that moment. You'll have to reapply and come back in 2 years or 3 years after your probation. So things like that, please be careful and make sure that you consult with an attorney if you had a criminal, no matter how minor it is, before you apply. The third reason why people fail the N400 citizenship test is because they fail to demonstrate continuous and physical presence in the United States. You have to show that you have at least 30 months of physical presence in the 5 years before you apply, or that you've been living in the US, that you didn't take trips more than 6 months every year in the 5 years before you apply. So if you fail to show the physical presence and the continuous presence test in the 5 years before applying for citizenship, the officer will look at your trips. That's an application. They'll count how many days you've been absent, and if you don't meet the rules, they will deny your application and you'll have to wait before you apply again. The fourth reason why people fail the test and don't pass the N400 citizenship test or the interview is because they fail to show that they meet their financial obligations to the US government. One is paying taxes. If you owe taxes, if you fail to pay taxes, if you have serious tax issues, you won't be able to become a US citizen. If you owe child support or any other family obligations to the family court, you will also not be eligible for citizenship. So make sure that you understand the requirements, talk to an attorney, read the rules before you apply, because if you don't, if you have those financial issues, you're not going to be eligible for citizenship. The final reason why people fail their tests is because of misrepresentation or fraud that is determined at the time of the interview. So for example, the immigration officer has a lot of discretion. If they ask you questions about your addresses, about your relationship with a spouse or prior spouse, or if you apply for citizenship because you were previously married or you're now married to a US citizen, If they think that you lied to them on the application or at the time of the interview, they will deny your application. So it's very important to be consistent on all the application forms before you apply for citizenship. Make sure you know what addresses you lived before, where you worked before, where you traveled. Whatever you put on that application, if it's not consistent, when they verbally ask you those questions, you will be denied. So these are the 5 main reasons that I see every time why people get denied, and we try to help them, but there are some instances that we cannot help. We have to tell these applicants that they have to wait. And sometimes waiting can cure many, many, many reasons and will allow you to apply for citizenship later on. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and you learned about the top 5 reasons why people get denied citizenship at the test and how to avoid them. Please subscribe to our channel, and we have plenty of other videos, and you can link to our website where we have more information about citizenship and how to prepare for the test. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.